Back here in the U.S., there's more on the Supreme Court order delaying Chrysler's planned asset sale to Fiat. Could the delay scuttle the entire deal? Rebecca Lindland has covered the industry for the past 15 years. She is currently a senior auto analyst at IHS Global Insight, where she is also the director of automotive research for North and South America. Rebecca, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Betty.
Okay, so this, I want to make it clear to our viewers, is just a temporary stay by the Supreme Court or by Justice Ginsburg. I mean, it's not a longer postponement of the deal. So what do we need to be clear on here?
Well, we don't need to panic yet, especially because last night Bloomberg reported that Marchione has come out and said they're not going to walk away from this deal. They, quote, never will walk away from this deal. So that was a significant statement that he made. I think that it's just really important that people understand that this could be just a very, very short term, measured in a matter of hours. We start to get into the danger zone if it starts to go longer, if we're looking at days and weeks and months. Then we have a problem.
Okay, describe to us what kind of problem and what is the worst case scenario that you could foresee?
The worst case scenario is that Chrysler's forced into Chapter 7 and it's forced into liquidation. Right now, while they're in this bankruptcy proceedings, they are not producing vehicles. And the way that the accounting structure works at a manufacturer is that they book revenue based on vehicles produced. So Chrysler basically is not bringing in any revenue, and estimates are as high as that they're losing $100 million a day. You can't do that for very long before you get into some serious trouble. Also, if they're forced into liquidation, they won't be worth nearly as much, and that's the other issue too, is we've got to try and keep them away from liquidation.
Okay, so how many days, can you say how many days that would be before they would have to be forced into Chapter 7 or no?
It's hard to say. I think that they'll have at least until next Monday, until at least June 15th, and then after that, then we'll find out more if we don't have some kind of a decision by the Supreme Court. But I really think that that's unlikely. This deal is the best deal out there right now, the best thing going, and people that are protesting it actually stand to lose even more if the company is liquidated.
Now, so the decision that we're waiting from the Supreme Court, though, Rebecca, clear this up for me. The decision is that we want to know whether or not the Supreme Court is going to be hearing this case in full, right? Because if they hear the case in full, that means that it's very likely Chrysler will go into liquidation. It's going to take a long time.
Right. Ginsburg will put the case before the judges, and 5 of them have to decide whether there's enough merit to hear the case. Right now, this has just provided an opportunity to review the situation, review specifically the legality of basically the union, junior creditors, getting into a better position than secured bondholders like the state of Indiana, which has brought this appeal. So that's really what they are trying to decide is can this deal go ahead and go through?
Now, do you think what's the success rate, do you think, for these for those that are appealing right now, the pension funds?
It's hard to say. There's really no precedent for this exact situation. I'm not an attorney. I'm sure there's precedents for other situations with corporations going bankrupt and having this jockeying between positions. But in terms of where we are right now in this exact situation, there really hasn't been a case like this.
Okay, Rebecca, we're out of time, but thanks so much for joining us on this Chrysler News. Rebecca Lindland, senior auto analyst at IHS Global Insight.